Dumelang le kae? In this video, I'm going to give a comparison between two personality types. There are certain types of people who lack accountability, and there are those who take accountability for their behavior and their actions. But there are certain types of individuals who do not want to take responsibility for their behavior. So in this video, we are going to look at what are the types of behaviors and the type of things that people do and what it says about you if you don't take responsibility for your behavior and your actions. Number one, people who do not take accountability blame others for their actions. They never want to sit down with themselves and say that I am the problem. I am the reason why I'm in the predicament that I'm in. I am the reason why my life has moved this particular way. So they tend to want to blame their childhood. They want to blame the government and all of these things. Instead of them sitting down with themselves and reflect and say that I am the catalyst or the common denominator in the problems that I create for my life. On the opposite end, a person who takes responsibility and accountability for their behavior, they own up to their actions and they own up to their decisions. They know that every choice that they make can either impact them positively or negatively. They never point out the finger to anyone. They take responsibility for their behavior and the choices that they make, and especially how they react to situations and all these types of things. Number two, people who do not take accountability make excuses instead of creating solutions for their lives. They make excuses. As I said in the previous statement, they make excuses and say, no, I don't have a business because I don't have funding. I couldn't go to school because I was born in a poor family. Without them, actually, when you look at their lives, these people are not people who are studying hard enough. They're not people that are putting themselves out there, who are taking risks and putting their name out there. But instead, they will make excuses instead of finding solutions for their problems. Now, on the opposite side of this, a person who takes responsibility and accountability for their actions, they look for solutions. They don't make noise, or instead of making excuses, they look for solutions. They create solutions for their lives. They understand that, yeah, I was born in a poor background, okay, or I made certain types of choices. Now, how do I take myself out of this predicament? So the purpose of this video is to make you guys realize that you might be on opposite sides of the scale. And if you are a person who lacks accountability, you need to do better for yourself. You need to do better for your life. You need to make different choices. You need to move differently. Number three, people who lack accountability tend to avoid difficult conversations, especially if they have to take accountability or they have to be shown that they are the problem. They will create all types of arguments and fights and cause drama instead of just acknowledging and apologizing to people that I am sorry for my behavior or I'm sorry I hurt your feelings, those types of things. They never want to have difficult conversations. They throw tantrums. They behave like children. Now, on the opposite of this is that accountable people or people who are responsible for their behavior, they address problems directly and respectfully. They don't go around corners. They acknowledge when they are wrong. They apologize if they have to, and they see that they actually look at how their energy and behavior affects everyone around them. So they don't avoid difficult conversations. Instead, they enjoy being shown and being corrected that they might be wrong. They take no insult to whatever a person shows about their behavior and actions. Number three, people who don't take accountability, they tend to have a certain type of pattern about their lives. They repeat the same things. They repeat the same cycles. They have the same type of behavior. So they repeat the same mistakes and they never want to change. They never want to stop what they are doing. And they will create all forms of excuses not to take accountability. And the opposite of, on the other end, a person who's accountable, they learn from their mistakes and they change their behavior. They always grow from every little inconvenience they create for themselves or other people. So they take initiative to become better. They self-develop. They work on their character. They work on their emotional intelligence, all those types of things. So they are not the types of people that shy away from growing and becoming better. Number four, In all circumstances, as I mentioned, with people that lack accountability, in their minds or in every situation they see themselves in, they are always the victim of circumstances. They are a victim all the time. They are never the problem. They never sit down and ask themselves, why do I always have these arguments or differences with people? What am I doing wrong? They are always a victim in all the situations. These people don't like me. They want to attack me. All those types of situations. And on the opposite side of this, the person who takes accountability believes that they have an influence over the future and they have to become better in order to do better. They don't make all kinds of silly excuses for their behavior. So they take accountability in that level to say that anything that they're going to choose today is going to impact their life along the way. So they need to become better. They need to do better. So they will never create excuses for their behavior. They take the initiative to see that I need to change myself in order to become better in the future. We move on to the other part. People who don't take accountability tend to break promises frequently. They can't keep their word. They're not honest people. They don't stick to anything. Or they don't even stick to their own word. They're not even honest to themselves. So they break a lot of promises. No, they are inconsistent people in a nutshell. Now, a person who takes accountability, they keep to their commitments, or they communicate when they cannot. They don't want to promise anyone something they know that they cannot offer them. So they try to be as honest and direct as possible. That no, I'm able to do this for you, or I can't do this right now. So they don't want to keep commitments that they know they cannot fulfill. The other part, people who resist feedback, and you see, let me put it this way: people who don't want to take accountability tend to resist feedback and criticism. They don't want to be corrected. They don't want to be shown their flaws. They don't want to be shown that they are the problem. So they deflect at all times. They will fight you. They will literally fight you if you have to give them a intervention of sorts. So they never want to take. They don't want any form of feedback or criticism from anyone. Now, on the opposite side, people who take criticism, or people who take accountability, they always welcome constructive feedback, especially because they understand that it makes them improve. It makes them become better people. It helps them grow. So they are open to any form of feedback, especially when it's going to help them become better. We move on. People who don't take accountability, they always shift responsibility to others. They never want to be responsible for anything. So they want other people to take responsibility of their life, their future, their finances, all those types of things. And when people cannot do those things for them, they then believe that those people do not love them and all these things. They always are the types of people who emotionally blackmail people instead of taking accountability for their life, their future, and their dreams. People who take accountability, they accept their roles even when it's uncomfortable. They know that they are not perfect, and any form of feedback that comes from people about how they affect others, they take it. Even if they don't like it, they take it. They take it with a grain of salt. They take it and they grow from it and become better in that sense. People who don't take accountability have this tendency that they always damage the relationships that they have. They damage the trust within those relationships. Like, people don't trust people who don't take accountability because they are liars, a lot of them. They are liars and they don't want to take account to anything. So they break the trust of many people, especially their loved ones. On the other end, a person who is responsible, they build trust through consistency and honesty. They are consistent people. They don't like to leave people hanging. They don't want to make obligations that they know they cannot commit to. So they are direct and honest. They don't play games. They don't overextend themselves when they know they can't. We move on. People who don't take accountability prioritize protecting their ego more than anything else. They are very egotistical. They are so self-conceited and too self-absorbed. No, anything is about them. It's never about looking at another person's feelings or seeing things from another person's perspective. They will never do that. They will never do that for anyone. On the opposite end, people who take accountability, they prioritize growth over being right. Because on the other side, that person always wants to be right. On this side, it's not about being right. They prioritize their growth to say, okay, I'm wrong. Where did I go? Where did I go wrong? How can I become better from this? How can I grow from this situation? Sorry. Now we move on. People who don't take accountability complains always without taking action. They never take action to say, okay, people are giving them feedback. They're not going to take action from what they were told that this is something that they are struggling from. They will never take that initiative to become better. They'll never do that. Instead, they'll shift the blame. No, they are wrong. They are judging me. All those types of weird things. On the opposite end, a responsible person takes action. Even when the situation is difficult, they take action to say, okay, these people said I have a tendency of overreacting. How do I stop myself from overreacting? How do I stop myself from being a compulsive person? Those types of things. And then they grow from it. They become better. They work on their emotions. They work on their mindset. And they see things from that person's perspective and they take the feedback. Now, another part is a person who lacks accountability. They have a difficulty earning other people's respect because they are not honest people. They are not people who commit to anything, especially when it comes to their own personal change. So people don't trust them. They can't earn other people's trust easily. On the other hand, a person who's responsible, it's easy for them to earn people's respect through reliability and integrity because they are honest people. They stand for something. They don't want to make obligations and things that they know they cannot commit to. So they are honest and direct. Another thing is people who don't want to take accountability. They always want to wait for somebody to solve their problems instead of finding solutions for their lives and themselves. So they're always waiting for something. No, the government must do this, blah, blah, blah. But in order to grow, you need to be the change that you want to see in your life. Because a responsible person takes initiative to solve their problems instead of pointing fingers. They see where they lack, they grow from it and become better and become more proficient and proactive in their decision making. We move on. A person who lacks accountability often has certain characteristics about their personalities. They repeat unhealthy habits. Could be substance abuse, all those types of things. Or there's always drama surrounding them, all those types of things. So they are chaotic people in a sense. On the other hand, a person who's responsible develops discipline. Always develops discipline and healthy routines. They don't like chaos. They love a routine about their life where they know it's pushing them to a specific direction or to a specific narrative. Lastly, a person who takes accountability. A person who does not take accountability focuses on fairness to themselves. It's always about them. The story is always about them. It's never about anyone. Sorry. So the other end, you would see that a person who's responsible focuses on what they can control. They see that, okay, I need to work on this. Let me focus on this. Let me deal with this instead of overindulging myself in things that don't serve me. Now we're going to extend to this part of the video. What I'm going to give you an identification of what it says about you if you're a person who lacks accountability. What your personality is like. People who lack accountability struggles with emotional maturity. They're immature people. They're not mature enough to deal with themselves or deal with people. They find it difficult to admit mistakes. They never take accountability. They have fragile egos, especially when it comes to them being criticized. They are very fragile. They value comfort more than growth. They never want to become better. They never want to change. They are stagnant people, especially in their ways. Another part, these types of people, they love keeping up an image instead of having a good character. They want to be seen a particular way. They don't want to be seen as a bad guy. Lastly, these people may not want to deal with challenges, especially when they arise. They will always delay the process of becoming best. They will always delay the process of them taking the feedback that's given to them. Now, there's a last part to this. These types of people have a problem of being unable to create long-term relationships, especially long-term trust. They never have people around them because they are not honest people. Now, we move on to the last part about the people who take accountability. People who take accountability have emotional maturity. They have integrity. They have self-awareness. They have humility. They are people who check their surroundings. They read the environment that they're in. They read themselves on how they affect people. They have the courage to admit when they are wrong. They have a strong commitment. They have a strong commitment to growth. They have a really, really strong commitment to growth. So in this video, I hope you guys have learned something and seen, because this thing can help you identify things about yourself or people that are surrounding you. And you can pick up on these things and see that this person is never going to change, because sometimes we are in relationships with these types of people who lack accountability, or you yourself, you lack accountability, or you're the person who takes accountability, but you're surrounded by people who don't want to take accountability. So I hope this video was helpful in that sense, to give a highlight and a perspective of these two different personality types. I hope this video was helpful. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you very much.